Hi, welcome back to My Yoga to Go. This is pose number 26 from our Encyclopedia of 50 Essential Poses. It's called Gomukhasana, which is the cow-faced pose. And we're going to get right into it. You come onto all fours and you slide your left knee all the way behind your right knee. You open the feet out wide to either side. Some people find that the tops of their feet have pressure, too much pressure on the ground, so this is one pose that actually works well if you're on a carpeted surface. If it's too intense on the bones of your feet, lay a blanket down. Once you've gotten into this position, knees together, feet out wide, just slowly lower your pelvis down between your heels. In our encyclopedia, we presented all these poses without props, but you might have found that the ground is way far away from your butt bones. If that's the case, if you can't touch down between your feet, just sit on something. Sit on a blanket or a block. But you probably have noticed that regardless of being down or on your support, there's already a pretty significant stretch on the muscles of your outer hips, the deep external rotators of your hips. And so this pose is just amazing for creating more suppleness, more flexibility in the outer hips. Especially effective for people who have a lot of lateral movement. Runners, tennis players will benefit tremendously. You'll feel much more fluid, I would say, in your pelvis. So this is kind of it, but there's one more part of it, which is a shoulder opener. You take your arms out wide to the side, start with your palms facing up, sweeping your left arm all the way up overhead. You keep it up, internally rotate your right arm and sweep it behind your back. And then the idea is just to bend the elbows and touch hands with yourself. Obviously, if you can't make the clasp here, just grab a strap or walk your hands as close together as they can go. And so what a 2-for-1 amazing pose, that you've got this beautiful stretch for the outer arm of your top arm. You got a beautiful stretch for the front of your chest on the bottom arm. And in the asymmetry of this pose, there's a beautiful rebalancing between the right and left sides. So you just sit here, move the elbows away from each other. Send some breaths down into the tighter places of your hips. And then send some breaths up into the upper quadrants of your chest. I'd say stay anywhere from 10 to 20 breaths to receive the full benefit. But for time's sake, I will now show you the other side. So you just release that. Pushing with your hands, come back onto all fours. So you're just retracing your steps. And you change the cross of your legs. Put the right knee behind the left knee. Be sure to open your feet out wide. If it was agonizing for the bones of your feet, well, on the second side, you might want to grab your blanket. Some people notice, too, that while they can sit down on the floor on one side, they get to the second side, and it's like, oh my God, now I really need that block or blanket. So see, each pose will expose your imbalances between right and left, between front and back, between top and bottom. Probably feeling the stretch already in your outer hips. Take a few breaths down into your pelvis, which is as simple as just relaxing the lower abdomen. And then let's add the shoulder part as well. So take your arms out wide to the side. Keep the right palm facing up, sweep it up. Internally rotate your left arm and sweep it down. You bend both of your elbows and walk your hands toward each other. If they can, it's somewhat gratifying if they can actually touch each other. You'll feel satisfied just by the completion, it's almost closing of a circuit that your hands provide. But it's not mandatory that they get there on your first try. Feel the stretch of the outer arm on your top arm. Feel the stretch on the front of your chest of your bottom arm. Once more, breathe down into the belly. And then run a few breaths up into your chest. And then as you exhale, you would just release and retrace your steps. Remember, you lean forward, come to all fours. And when you uncross your legs, just swing the legs forward and sit in staff pose for a moment. Seems like an intricate pose, but in its intricacy, I think you'll find the brilliance of it. What an efficient pose for not only opening and rebalancing your shoulder girdle, but also for opening and creating more space in your hips. Thanks for practicing with us. See you on the next one.